Level 1. Negative balance. Your account doesn't start the day at zero. It starts below it. A tiny red number waits on your banking app, quietly telling you that you're already behind. Not because you bought something expensive. Because you forgot. A small automatic payment cleared overnight. Just $4. The bank isn't interested in the amount. It only follows the rules. And the rules say you crossed the line. $35 disappears from your account. The punishment costs more than the mistake. You don't feel shocked anymore. Just exhausted. Then another forgotten subscription renews. $7. The system notices you're already negative. Another overdraft fee arrives instantly. Now a few forgotten dollars have turned into nearly 80. You call customer support, hoping someone can fix it. After 20 minutes of hold music, an agent politely reads the policy. Nothing can be refunded today. Tomorrow gets even worse. Your rent payment is rejected. A late fee is added. Your phone bill fails too. Another penalty appears. What started as $4 has quietly become hundreds. Every fee creates another problem. You skip lunch, telling yourself you're not hungry. You're protecting what's left. Friends invite you out after work. You smile and say you already have plans. The truth is, your budget made the decision for you. By Friday, you walk into the bank. The employee checks your account, then pauses for a second. Her expression changes. You've seen that look before. Not sympathy. Not frustration. Just distance. On the screen. You're no longer a customer. You're an overdraft alert. A high-risk account. Another number in the system. Because at level 1, being broke isn't just expensive, it changes the way the system sees you. Level 2. $200. Your balance isn't negative anymore. You fought your way back above zero. Extra shifts, missed weekends, and long days bought you one thing. $200 sitting in your account. Nobody congratulates you. Nobody notices the effort it took to get here. The bank notices. But only because your account doesn't meet the minimum balance. Another maintenance fee quietly appears. $12 disappears overnight. No warning. No message. The system doesn't explain itself. It simply follows its rules. To avoid the fee, you need $1,500. You have $200. So every month, you pay the bank to hold money you barely have. You check your balance the next morning. It's smaller again. Not because you spent it. Because the system reached in first. You decide it's finally time to build your credit. You submit the application, hoping this is the first real step forward. The approval arrives. But there's a condition. It's a secured card. The bank asks you for $300. Before they'll lend you anything, your own money becomes their security. And you'll still pay interest if you use it. You read the offer twice. It feels less like trust and more like permission. You decide to wait. Then a tire blows on your way to work. Without available credit, the repair has to wait. You catch the bus instead. Arriving hours late. Your manager doesn't say much. He just looks at you differently. You visit the bank later that week, hoping they'll remove the fee. The teller is chatting with the customer ahead of you, asking about their weekend, laughing at a story. Then it's your turn. The smile becomes smaller. The conversation becomes shorter. Everything feels rehearsed. She handles your request in less than a minute. No questions. No suggestions. No. Have a great day. The next customer walks up, and the warmth instantly returns. You walk toward the exit, finally understanding what changed. You weren't rejected. You weren't insulted. You were simply processed. Because at level 2, $200 is enough to keep your account alive. But not enough for the system to remember your name. Level 3. $2,000. Nothing about you feels different. But something about the way the bank treats you does. Every 2 weeks, your paycheck lands exactly on schedule. Reliable. Consistent. Month after month. The system watches the same pattern repeat. Not your name. Not your story. Just predictable deposits. Then one morning, The monthly maintenance fee never arrives. You refresh the app, thinking it's delayed. It isn't. The fee is simply gone. Not because you called. Not because anyone made an exception. The computer decided. You finally fit the right profile. The same bank that charged you every month now quietly lets you keep your money. Soon, new envelopes begin arriving. Credit card offers. Real ones this time. No security deposit. No extra conditions. Just a credit limit. With interest attached. 8 months ago, the same institution turned you away. Now it's asking you to borrow. Your name appears, printed across glossy letters. Pre-approved. As if you became someone new. You submit the application. 90 seconds later, you're approved. The notification feels strangely satisfying. Not because you won. Because the system finally said yes. That's when you understand something. Banks don't reward people. They reward patterns. At $200, you looked like a risk. At $2,000, you look like a customer they can finally make money from. Level 4. $15,000. One morning, you open your banking app. Something has changed. Your credit limit is higher. You never asked for it. The bank increased it on its own. No application. No paperwork. Just a quiet decision. Made somewhere inside the system. For the first time. The bank trusts you. Before you ask to be trusted. The next morning, your phone rings. It's not a recording. It's a real person. They introduce themselves as your relationship banker. They give you a direct phone number. They ask about your future, your savings, your financial goals. You pause for a moment. This is the same bank that once kept you on hold for nearly an hour. Now they're calling you first. A few weeks later, you finance a used car. The interest rate is lower than you expected. Not because you argued. Not because you negotiated. Because your profile changed. The cost of borrowing has quietly become cheaper. Later that month, an unexpected fee appears. Instead of waiting on hold, you send one email. A few hours later, the fee is gone. No arguments. No transfers. No explaining your situation. Just one short reply. Taken care of. The rules didn't change. Your position did. Soon your emails become personal. Your name appears in every subject line. Recommendations become invitation. Support becomes proactive. The bank isn't chasing your problems anymore. It's protecting your business. That's when you notice something you couldn't see from the levels below. The bank was never trying to punish you. It simply invested its time where it expected the highest return. When you had nothing, you received policies. Now you receive people. Because at level 4, you're no longer just another account. You've become someone the bank wants to keep. Level 5. $80,000. Something new appears on your account. Preferred client. The words greet you every time you log in. They're printed on your statements. And at the bottom of every email. From the person managing your account. You didn't ask for the title. Your balance earned it for you. Your relationship banker is no longer just a contact. They remember your conversations. Your birthday. The city where your family lives. The goals you mentioned months ago. None of it is accidental. Attention has become part of the service. You walk into the branch. And someone greets you by name. Not from behind the counter. From an office. They lead you past the waiting line. The same line. Where you once counted every minute. Now someone else waits. You don't. A letter arrives a few days later. It's not another credit card offer. It's a mortgage pre-approval. The bank already calculated how much it wants to lend you before you've even chosen a house. Borrowing money is no longer something you chase. It's something you're invited to do. Then another bank calls. They've noticed your business. They promise better rates, better rewards. You mention the offer to your banker. Within the hour, they call back with an even better deal. For years, you competed for the bank's attention. Now the banks compete for yours. That's when you understand what preferred really means. It's not respect. It's not friendship. It's value. Because at level 5, you're no longer just a customer. You're an asset. The bank refuses to lose. Level 6. $500,000. The bank no longer feels like a building. It becomes something that follows you. Your banker doesn't send emails anymore. They call. Not to solve a problem. To introduce you to someone else. A wealth advisor. They don't ask you to come into the branch. They come to your office. Reports in hand. Questions prepared. Not about your checking account. About your future. Your investments. Your taxes. Your family. Your long-term plans. The meeting lasts more than an hour. Nobody pressures you to sign anything. Nobody gives you a sales pitch. Before leaving, they hand you a business card and promise to follow up. That's when you realize the sale already happened. The bank isn't selling products anymore. It's selling relationships. And relationships last much longer than transactions. Later that week, a wire transfer gets delayed. You make one phone call. Someone answers immediately. No automated menu. No waiting. No repeating your account number. The issue is solved before the conversation ends. At lower levels, that same problem would have taken hours. Now it takes minutes. Soon you're invited to a private client dinner. A small group. A private room. A skyline view. Most people never see. Nobody spends the evening talking about money. Because everyone there already has it. Money isn't the conversation. It's the invitation. That's when everything becomes clear. At level 6, you're no longer treated like someone who uses the bank. You're treated like someone the bank intends to keep for decades. Level 7. $5 million. This is where everything changes. Not because you have more money. Because the rules begin to change around you. The bank no longer offers you services. It builds a relationship. You don't have an account manager anymore. You have a private banker. A title reserved for only a handful of clients. They don't manage hundreds of accounts. They manage a few. And yours is one of them. They remember your family. Your business. The plans you mentioned months ago. Not because the computer reminded them. Because your relationship matters. When you finance a property, the interest rate isn't pulled from a public chart. It's discussed, negotiated, adjusted. Some investment opportunities don't even appear online. They're introduced privately. Because the relationship opens doors the average customer never sees. Documents that once required weeks are completed in days. Not because the process changed. Because your priority did. You visit a branch you've never entered before. Someone greets you by name. Before you introduce yourself, your profile reached the room. Before you did, you're escorted to a private meeting space. No public counters. No waiting area. Just a quiet conversation about opportunities most people will never hear about. That's when you understand what private banking really means. It's not luxury. It's access. At every level before this, you learned the bank's rules. At $5 million, the bank starts writing new ones. With you in mind? Because at level 7, you're no longer just a valuable client. You're a relationship the institution is determined to protect. Level 8. $25 million. By now, the bank doesn't simply know your name. It knows your value. Everything changed. Long before you noticed. You're no longer assigned to a banker. You're assigned to a relationship. Keeping your business is no longer someone's task. It's someone's responsibility. If you leave, people notice. Meetings are scheduled. Plans are rewritten. The institution doesn't hope you'll stay. It prepares to make sure you do. Nothing is standard anymore. Every solution is built around you. Loan terms become conversations. Investment opportunities arrive before they're announced. Opportunities don't wait for your application. They wait for your decision. The biggest change isn't access. It's influence. Executives ask what you think. They ask what you're seeing. What markets interest you? What services should exist next? The institution that once decided your future now asks for your opinion before deciding its own. Then you remember where this story began. Somewhere tonight, someone opens their banking app and sees a negative balance. $4. A forgotten subscription. A payment that arrived too early. Within minutes, the overdraft fee appears. They call for help. The hold music begins. Someone reads the policy. Nothing can be done. They think the system is unfair. But the system isn't confused. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. The same institution that once charged someone $35 for being $4 short now rearranges meetings, rewrites deals, and competes to keep someone with 25 million. The person never changed. Only the balance did. From level 1 to level 8. The biggest lesson was never about money. It was about perception. Because the higher your balance becomes, the less the bank changes. And the more it reveals who it has been all along.